Your weekly 1-hour celebration of motorsports right here on the radio. It's Speed Talk on 1360 here on KRWC. Dean and Jason talking racing along with Joey Prusak, who is a driver at Elko Speedway in the Big 8 division this year. Joey, you having fun okay so far?
I'm having a blast here.
Good.
Thank you for having me out here.
Of course. Now, let me tell your story just a little bit. Of course, a lot of us know you from racing at Raceway Park and then over at Elko a little bit, and then this year full-time at Elko. But many other people know you because your story kind of went viral thanks to Jordan Bianchi a little bit from SB Nation as far as the NASCAR part of it goes, but also because you were on the Queen Latifah show and got to tell your story, and then you went on Claire B. Lang on NASCAR Sirius Radio, which is really cool. And the story is this. You're working down in Hopkins at Dairy Queen, and you're doing the counter, and then there was some people in line, and there was a blind guy that you know who was ordering something, and he dropped a $20 bill. And the person behind him in line, which is a woman, picked up the $20 bill, did not give it to the blind man, put it in her own pocket. You didn't make a big deal of it. You served the blind man just as usual, and he went down to his seat. The person who took the $20 bill was next in line. And what did you do when she came up into line?
Well, I basically just said, ma'am, I saw the gentleman drop the money, so could you please return it to him? Or could you get out of the store? And she said, oh, it's my money. I'm like, no, I know it's the guy's money. I watched him drop it. So I'm going to give you one last opportunity to either return the money to him or to get out. She said, it's mine. I said, ma'am, please leave the store. She had some choice words for me, and then she stormed out. And after I served the last few people in line, then I went up and I gave the gentleman $20 out of my own pocket to try and make up for the wrongdoing that had taken place.
Now, did you have to think about this, or is this something that just reacted to?
Well, I kind of just reacted. I've been there for 6 years. This is actually going to be my 7th year working there. So you get to know how to interact with customers and how to handle situations. So this was just one of the things, as bizarre as it is, it just kind of came natural to me. So I just kind of did what I thought was right.
Which is cool. And then you didn't seek out a lot of attention for this. How did this end up getting all the way to the Queen Latifah show?
Dairy Queen has an online complaint/compliment form that you can send in to them, and then they forward all of those messages to the franchise owners. And the message was forwarded, an anonymous email was forwarded to my owner, and he printed it out, brought it into Dairy Queen, and an employee took a picture of it on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, and by Monday morning at 6 a.m., it was the #1 thing being talked about in the world.
That's pretty cool.
So in 9 hours, it went from 0 to hero.
What did you think?
Like I've said from the beginning, I just thought I was doing the right thing, and that's all I was doing. And the only person I told was the employee that I was working with about it, because I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh, I just did the right thing. That's not a big deal. But I guess in today's world, the news focuses on a lot of negative things. Mm-hmm. And so I think this was just one of those things that it came at a time when there wasn't that much negativity going on, and that's why it really took off.
That is pretty cool. And then how did you get on to the Queen Latifah show?
It was actually, so it was the #1 thing being talked about on Monday morning, and Monday night I was at home and I got a call from Dairy Queen, and an employee who was working goes, Joey, you have to call me back, because it was my voicemail. I missed the call. She goes, Joey, you have to call me back. Someone from the Queen Latifah show called. They want you on the show. And I just started laughing like, oh, yeah, me on the Queen Latifah show. But sure enough, I called them back, and they said, we'll fly you and your brother out here, because I told them that I had a younger brother who's 15 months younger than me. They said, we'll fly you both out here, and you guys can be out here for a couple days, and you'll be on the show.
What is that experience like?
That was really cool. I've never been to any type of talk show, just even in the audience. Just to be on it was amazing. And I wasn't expecting, like, I know this is going to sound weird, but I wasn't expecting anything going out there. I was just expecting to be on the show and to go home. Well, there ended up being a little bit of a surprise when I was on it, and I didn't expect that at all.
And that's when they invited you to Daytona.
That's right. Yep. Clip played of Kevin Harvick, and he just said that NASCAR and Daytona International Speedway and himself were proud of what I had done, and that they'd like to invite me down to the Daytona 500.
And then you got to meet Joey Logano.
Yes,
down there
because of Jordan's article on SB Nation. They actually, Joey and his PR guy saw the article, and they told me that. They said they saw that article, and they didn't understand why they had Kevin Harvick film the clip when Logano was my favorite driver. And I said, hey, it doesn't matter to me because I'm here right now meeting you. But yeah, I went in to do an interview with Claire B. Lang on NASCAR's Sirius XM radio show, and I was sitting there, and she goes, all right, I'll be right back. And she walked out, and she comes walking back in with Joey Logano, and my jaw literally dropped. I was like, what's going on here?
And then the cool thing is you guys have continued that relationship, and as it turns out, Joey is actually going to be sponsoring your race car at Elko.
That's correct. The Joey Logano Foundation is going to be sponsoring me in 2014 at Elko Speedway as I compete in the Big 8 division.
That is really, really cool.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think there might be a little growing pains with me going from a bomber to a Big 8, but everybody thinks that I should do just fine. But I think I may struggle for the first part of the year, at least, until I can get my feet set.
Now, why did you pick the Big 8s?
Well, my dad used to race modifieds and late models and all of that. So he has experience in just about every single car that's ever competed out at Elko Speedway. But also my great uncle, Tom Quaddy, ran in the Big 8 division last year, and he wanted to get out of the division. He has a power stock sitting at his house, so he said he'd rather focus on that where he can go out a couple times a year. And he said, I think you're ready to move up if you want to do it. I'll sell you the car for a good deal. I said, why not? So I just bought the car, and so I'm going to see what I can do now in that.
Now, have you ever driven anything more powerful than your bomber car?
No.
No.
I drove
The Big 8s are really competitive at Elko.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love watching the racing. It's really good racing in that class, so I figured why not join that. I did drive a power stock a couple times out at Elko last year, and that's the only experience I have out at Elko, too. So I'm going into a new class at a new track that I've never really been to, so
that's going to be tough. What do your folks think of this whole circus, everything that happened? They must be proud of you, really.
Absolutely. My whole family's really proud of me. It's a bizarre experience when, like, I went to the Twins game and I threw out the first pitch, and when I walked off the field, I had people trying to take pictures with me. And like, that's just strange, and you can see in both my mom and dad's faces that they're just extremely proud. And I mean, they're the ones who raised me, so that's who's responsible for who I am today.
That's cool. Do you have other sponsors this year?
I have a company called Pertec who also sponsors Adam Royal, Bernatello's Pizza, Bellatori Pizza, Dairy Queen, Quiznos, Rhapsody Graphics, and Scoreboard Bar and Grill.
That's cool. Is that going to help you get a good motor, get all the right equipment?
It's a start.
Yeah. It's expensive, I know.
It's an expensive hobby to be racing, so, I mean, sponsors are real key in this sport. But I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to come up with the funds to at least compete for the year.
What do you like about Elko?
I love the facility. I don't remember who said it, but someone said it's just like Bristol. The facility is like, it's the Bristol of short track, like local short tracks. It's extremely nice. The Ryans have put a ton of time and money into making that track absolutely unreal for the fans, and the fans, not only the racers, but I mean, it's a really cool facility, and I like the bank corners there, and you don't realize how wide that track is too. Those straightaways are pretty wide there.
I thought you were going to say the announcer.
Well, the announcers.
Well, you can't hear that inside the car, Jason.
Darn it.
Yeah, I do like the announcer. The announcer's pretty good.
They're a little busy inside the car. They can't hear you, and that's for sure. I bet you're just itching to get on the racetrack, though. I mean, this winter has been the longest winter in years here, and especially now when you got all this opportunity coming out in front of you here. It's like, come on, warm up, melt the snow. I want to get on the racetrack, right? Yeah,
I'm kind of getting a little impatient, just because I also haven't driven the car yet. I drove it up and down the driveway the other day, but I'm looking forward to getting out there and practicing and for the racing to actually start.
So you're going to be out there practice day for sure, probably the whole day, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I won't be able to make the test and tune deal because I will be down in Omaha at the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting with Warren Buffett.
That's a good reason to miss.
Really?
I guess if I was going to miss practice, that would be a very good reason.
So what's your plan going there? To try to score A multi-million-dollar sponsorship.
I mean, yeah, that's always the goal.
That's the
isn't it?
goal.
Truck deal.
You never know. You might be racing, nationwide.
Something like that.
No, that's really cool. And we're proud of you, too, from being in Minnesota. And I know it's going to be a huge challenge this summer at Elko Speedway. But keep your head up and then take some advice from a lot of great guys in the Big 8 division. And last year, I think there was 7 or 8 different winners in the Big 8. So it's not like just a couple guys dominating. There's a lot of good cars out there. So, try to stay at the top half of the field, and you never know what could happen. Could be your night.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going to go into it with a positive attitude,
Yeah.
but like I said, I think there's going to be some serious growing pains going from the Bomber division to the Big 8 division. But I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Cool.
In fact, there's a lot of drivers that have started in the Big 8s at Elko that are doing some of the Big 8 touring series. In fact, they got a race this weekend at Rockford, and
Yep.
I know there's 3 drivers that are going there, and they basically, got acclimated to the cars at Elko, and now moving on. So there's plenty of opportunity in that class too, rather than just running that class.
You can travel a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can grow a little bit there before you want to take another step in racing. So that's a good thing. It's a good move for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Joey, you're going to stick with us, right? We're going to talk with Dan Plan from the Midwest Racing Connection.
Absolutely, I'm not going anywhere.
Very good. We're
Got the
gonna
door locked. And by
Yeah.
the way, unfortunately, Joey Logano is not out in the hallway, so
No.
we're not going to let him in the studio.
We don't
today.
have-
We don't have any big surprises. for you today.
no surprise.
Darn it.
But I might buy you a burger at Arby's later.
There we go.
That's about as good as I can do. Okay, we'll be back with more Speed Talk on 1360 after this.